Are you able to tell us the specific taxes that are going to be taken off? And then also, we've had a lot of calls for the removal of the 1 cedi levy. But some economists have argued that part of the stability that we're enjoying in the power sector is as a result of that energy sector levy, that 1 cedi levy. And they're warning that its removal could take us back to, I don't want to say the dark days. So I want to find out from you, what specific taxes are we looking at?
Yes, Cabinet discussed specific margins and taxes. But because this is a sector that is highly sensitive and involves multiple stakeholders, the finance and energy ministers have been charged within the next few days to engage all relevant stakeholders before we announce the specific margins and taxes that are to be removed. This is to ensure that those stakeholders hold themselves in readiness for the impact of this, in order that they are not taken by surprise. So we are fully aware, we know the exact margins and taxes that have been identified, and they will be announced in the next pricing window. Also, let me indicate that all factors were considered, and the issue that you raised about a potential for compromising the energy sector was also discussed. So the actions that will be taken will ensure that we do not compromise the energy sector and that we do not fall into the difficulties of the past.
The big conversation on 3FM Sunrise.
Welcome back, Mr. Metaldoni. Let me start with you. So yesterday, cabinet meeting happened. We are hearing the updates now. And I know as of yesterday by 4 p.m., a friend of mine who works at Shell had sent me information that their fuel prices were going to go up just around the same time that cabinet was meeting. Has the situation changed this morning?
Yeah, Johnny, thank you very much. And let me say a very good morning to the people of Ghana. And a good morning to the church listeners and viewers of 3FM, because there are some watching us live on Facebook.
That's right.
Yes, we find ourselves in a very difficult situation. Now, if you look at the components that make up fuel prices in Ghana, one of the determinants is the international price of crude. The other one has to do with the cedi to the dollar depreciation, the exchange rate. The other is the taxes and margins, as you mentioned. Now, what we as a country have control over is that, you see, we are about 90% dependent on imports. We import most of the finished crude into the country. It's now that our local refineries are now gearing up to make sure that they increase their production of fuel within the country. TOR is doing well and all that. But largely, we import finished products into the country.
Right.
So when you look at the first component I'm talking about, that has to do with international price of crude. That is not something that we have control over as a country. Now we all know what is happening between US and Israel on one hand, and then Iran, and then the close of the Strait of Hormuz, where most of the international crude vessels pass through to be able to get crude across the world.
Right.
And because of that, fuel prices have gone up, so we don't have control over that. What we as a country have control over is the taxes and the margins.
Right.
And the listening government, the listening president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who thinks about the good people of Ghana, who is compassionate and wants to make sure that the people of Ghana are very comfortable amidst the crisis that we find ourselves in, is saying that, see, we don't have control over the international prices. It's gone up, yes. However, the taxes and the margins, we are going to make sure that we take some of them off and reduce some of them for the next, is it how many days?
4 weeks.
For the next 4 weeks, to make sure that we
But
cushion.
I'm submitting to you that this morning the fuel prices have gone up.
Yes, so cushion. That is what I'm saying. One of the components is that the international prices, which you don't have control over. But for the next 4 weeks, as he has mentioned, the people in the energy sector, they are going to come out and tell us what exact margins and what exact taxes that they are going to reduce. If you look at the margins and the taxes that make up the components of fuel price in Ghana, We have one, the ex-refinery price. This is the cost of buying fuel internationally. We also have taxes and levies that make up about 40%. We have the energy debt recovery levy. We have the road fund levy. We have the special petroleum tax. We have price stabilization and recovery levy. We have the sanitation and pollution levy, energy sector recovery levy. And then if you come to margins, you have, for example, boss margin, marketers margin, dealers margin, etc.
Hey,
so
all on just 1 liter of fuel?
Yes, all on just 1 liter of fuel. These are the things that make up.
Did you come to meet it, or have you added some?
Oh, we came to meet some of them. What we added, of course, what we added was the energy recovery levy, energy sector recovery levy.
The D levy.
Well, that's how some people like to mention it. That's how some people like to mention it. But it's to correct a menace that we came to meet. It's to correct and make sure that we have stable energy within the country. Now today, the IPPs are smiling. The IPPs are comfortable. They trust the government, and then we are able to pay off most. We are paying off most of the debts that we came to inherit. So all I want to tell the people of Ghana is that the government is a listening government. The government is concerned about making sure that the people of Ghana feel comfortable amidst this crisis. And in the coming days, we are going to announce the exact taxes and levies that are going to be reduced to make sure that we cushion the people of Ghana. I've heard arguments from my brothers in the MPP saying that what they want to hear is that the energy sector recovery levy, that's the D levy, aka D levy, is the one that is going to be scrapped. And we are looking at the totality of the taxes that are going to be reduced. If you take the D levy, that is 1 cedi, then the price of fuel is going to come from like 17 cedis for diesel to about 16 cedis. But then if you are taking small from other components, some taxes and margins, you might even get more than that. What the people want to see is that when they get to the pumps, the price of AGO, the price of PMS, that's petrol and diesel they are going to buy, has been reduced. And that is what we are looking at. Whether it's going to be the D levy or not, or whatever it is, the players and the experts in the sector will come out to exactly what we are going to handle. So far, the cedi, the exchange rate has been relatively stable, and it helps the businessmen and even the importers and players in the energy sector to be able to predict and plan on how to trade within the sector. Imagine that amidst all this crisis, our city was also depreciated. The price of fuel by this time wouldn't have been where it is, but because of the prudent management of the economy. And I'm very much aware that in the projection of the government in the year about revenues that we're going to generate, we had factored in some of these taxes and margins that we are talking about. Now, because of situations that we did not predict, we are going to have reduction in some of the taxes and then the margins. You ask yourself that how are we going to meet our revenue targets?
The MPP has had cause to, in fact, elements within the MPP have had cause to call you an insensitive government, because this has been lingering since Donald Trump and Israel decided to take on Iran. This has been happening, and we've seen crude prices shoot up. They were expecting that you would drop the prices and not have pussyfooted until this point. But what do you say to that?
Nobody expected or could predict how this war was going to go. Nobody could predict how this war was going to go. They could have started, and then within 2 weeks, the war could have ended. The war could have even ended within a week.
Right.
Nobody could have predicted. As we are even we've planned that we are going to reduce some of the taxes and the margins, the war could end even the next day. It could also prolong. That is why even the intervention that we are bringing, we are saying that for the next 4 weeks, because at the international scene, there are lots of negotiations going on to make sure that the war has ended. There are lots of negotiations going on to make sure that the Strait of Hormuz is open for people to bring in, be able to have a smooth passage there. So you cannot predict what the future is. But because we've seen that over a period, it keeps going up. The government have held an emergency cabinet meeting. How we are going to make sure that the shortfalls from the expected revenue generation does not affect government. This government have shown, and we have proven, that we are good when it comes to discipline in the cutting down on our expenditure. So now that we are reducing one leg of it, that is the revenues are going to come in, the government should also, on the other hand, make sure that we tighten the expenditure of government. That's why the minister reiterated the president's instruction to all CEOs and government agencies that they should not, the fuel coupons, that the fuel allowance that they give to them, it should be cut. You see, we are tightening and making sure that expenditure of government is spent at the right places and reduced to make sure that it does not affect the running of the economy in its entirety. We've proven over the period that we've been disciplined when it comes to running of the economy.
Mr. Nati, let me bring you in. Does this satisfy you? I mean, just about last week we were on this conversation. You were not so happy. You were insisting that the government ought to have cushioned the people. Now the government has announced measures, 3 tier measures. One, that fuel prices will be reduced because some taxes will be taken off, and it will last for 4 weeks subject to review. They've also asked that no government official, senior government officials, etc., CEOs, what have you, appointees take fuel coupons and allowances. And then the 100 buses that have been brought in be put in traffic-prone areas where people actually need them. Metromass will handle that. And then that they should price lower than what is actually within the system. Does that satisfy you?
Johnny, good morning to you once again, and good morning to your listeners and viewers. I think ordinarily every form of cushioning, one way or the other, will satisfy consumers. And so irrespective of the level of cushioning, consumers one way or the other will feel happy. But you need to look at the level of cushioning that the government could have done better. I think one thing that needs to be established, or one thing that has been established so far, is that we understand we don't have control over the price of crude. We also understand that exogenous factors could influence some of these commodity prices. I think once these two has been established, we don't want a situation where in future, when the war goes down, we hear commentary that Abampababa, that's the reason why the price of fuel is going down. 18th October 2022, Sami Jemfi, when the then government zeroed in the price stabilization levy and said they were doing it for a month, for 4 weeks, he said a month wasn't enough and they should extend it. They should extend it. That was even at the initial stages. So you would expect that someone who had criticized the government cushioning of consumers for a 4-week period, they would do better.
Is it subject to review? Did you miss that?
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing you also did. It's the same thing you also did.
Subject to review.
No,
to
the
that
4 weeks.
I remember that communication so well.
The 4 weeks wasn't.
The lingua did not include subject to review.
The 4 weeks wasn't cast in stone.
But they did not include. So I'm saying that you are trying to compare both.
And I'm saying that
this government has said subject to review. At the time when you communicated, Mustafa Hamid, etc., it did not include subject to review.
Are you trying to tell me that? Are you trying to tell me that in a situation where the price of food... No. And I'm telling you that the statement wasn't cast in stone.
Okay.
The statement wasn't cast in stone. In a situation where the price of fuel then was still increasing, or could have been increasing then, are you trying to tell me that government rulings have still cushioned them, or government rulings still have enforced the price stabilization levy? You see, it's one thing to speak in opposition when you think you are so good and know what you'll be able to do. And I think it's very fair that you reminded me that last week I was here and we had similar discussions.
That's right.
And I also reiterated the point that your outfit granted an interview with Sami Jemfi and even indicated that Bola tax, Mama was going to cancel it. They've not cancelled it. He also indicated that ESLA would have been cancelled if Mama was to be president. ESLA is still in our books. Why haven't they cancelled ESLA?
The understanding that Felix Kwacho Fosu gave was that you left behind a debt of about $1.2 billion. And that is what has necessitated them to maintain some of those taxes and even add the 1 CD on each liter of fuel so that it helps to pay. What that actually generates, if I heard him right on key points, is that it generates about $500 million, leaving $700 million that government has to find money to pay, which is debt that you left behind.
Okay.
So that's the
when you read
that I got from.
When you read
when
you read their budget statement, the 2026 budget, I think the relevant portion, I don't know how they've, but I'm reading directly from it. It says, Mr. Speaker, we inherited a significant 1.4 billion legacy debt owed to IPPs. That's legacy debt.
Right.
A major burden on the energy sector and the national budget. Then if you, a few weeks ago, we also told that government had paid the 1.4 billion owed to these IPPs.
Yeah.
So if you have a situation where you've communicated to the people's representative in parliament that you inherited a debt of 1.4 billion and you've cleared it, why are you still collecting that tax with the understanding that you are going to clear a debt? It's a facade. It's a lie. If you claim you've inherited 1.4 billion and you turn around to tell us that you've cleared that 1.4 billion per official records, why then are you still collecting the tax? You see the deception we have in how do you call it with this government.
If the debt has been paid, why
if
are
the
you
debt has
collecting
been
money
paid,
to
why
repay?
are you still collecting it? Why are you still collecting it? You see, so the promise they made in opposition that ESRA will be cancelled, they are still collecting it. It's still in our books. So I'm saying that yes, every form of cushioning is good, but you need to look at the level of cushioning that you could do or could do better for the consumers to
Mr.
enjoy.
Nati, do you get a sense also, just as the users of vehicles, the drivers at the trotro stations, taxi stations say that, look, compared to your regime, fuel prices have dropped. And so their buying power back comes then to say that they did better than, or they're doing better than you did, even at the point you left the fuel at. What do you say to that?
Well, again, our reference last week, predominantly, we had a conversation more on this,
yeah,
and it went a bit deeper than announcing this, than focusing on this announcement government made.
Well, that is the update in news.
Yes,
we
that's the
forgot
news
on.
update. I think when I was here, I made reference, and you fact checked it, that when we're leaving office, the price of fuel we left at the pump was lesser than what it was even last week. You were just telling
Metal
Nunu
Yeah.
that just today, the price of fuel has gone up. So if last week the price of fuel was much higher than what we even left, and it's now going up today, where there is the
As of last
justification?
week,
Where
the price was higher than what you left.
Yes. We checked it here. We used a Guelph. We used Guelph. We checked. I remember very well.
Yes, Guelph. I
checked.
fact checked it. That's correct.
So if the price last week then was higher than what we left, and today the price is even higher than last week, how then can we move or focus or?
No, it's not likely. In fact, yesterday at 2:54, and I usually get these updates, a day before it happens. The last one I got was on the 31st of March, and it usually comes in this form. So please find below a revised ex-pound price effective tomorrow, 1st April 2026, 6 a.m. On 31st, what I got that was supposed to go up on the 1st of April was proposed ex-pound prices. PMS is 14.19, 40 cedis 19 pesos, and then AGO was 17 cedis 69 pesos, V Power 15 cedis 79 pesos. What I got yesterday around 3 p.m. 2:54 thereabout, saying that the prices will go up this morning. 6 a.m. says that proposed ex-pound prices, PMS 14.39, which means that it's gone up by 20 pesos for PMS, and then AGO is 17.89, which is another 20 pesos. So both have seen a 20 pesos adjustment.
It's different.
No, what I have here is from Shell.
Yours is
Yes.
Because what I have also
Yes,
different.
God says what? Please, God remains unchanged. No, use the microphone for me. Sorry.
The price of
I'm also checking gold.
Super XP and Diesel XP remains unchanged. That's why they sent to.
So Johnny, I
Yes,
think that the point still holds that if the fuel, even granted without admitting that today the price of fuel hasn't increased today.
No, so just for clarity, what I have
Is for Shell.
from Shell
That's fine.
is saying that
That's
it will
fine.
be
That's
increased
fine.
this morning.
I'm
Hold
only
on,
saying
hold
that
on,
because
hold on,
you use
hold-
Guelph.
Hold on.
Johnny, to put
So-
the conversation in context, he was referencing gold. So let's use the gold prices.
No, he was referencing Gulf from
He said-
last week.
From last week. So he should come.
So
let's use
as
gold.
of last week, hold on. I think we should give Mr. Nati a
So
fair
what
point.
do you mean?
As of Prosper, hold on.
Okay.
Let me contextualize it. As of last week, when Prosper raised the question about Goyle, we fact checked it, and what he had said was accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as of today, Goyle says per Solomon's text message that he sent, Goil is maintaining their prices relative to last week. But what I know is that Shell has shot up. Most likely Total will shoot. Total has gone up too. So we cannot say that fuel prices have not gone up because Shell is not Total and Total is not Goil.
It's a deregulated.
Yes.
It's a deregulated economy.
Well,
Johnny,
but there's a floor.
Johnny,
There's a floor. So allow
Johnny,
him. Prosper, go ahead.
Johnny,
so Prosper has the floor. Prosper has the floor.
Johnny,
and Goil is on the floor.
You. Let me even grant without admitting
That you're using Goil.
that I'm using Goil.
Okay.
Goil remains unchanged. Is the price still higher last week than what we left in office?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Yes.
So that assertion that the price of fuel now has gone down relative to what they came to meet, it's a lie. But you think, starting my submission, I laid two premises. That one, we now understand that exogenous factors does influence commodity pricing, and two, he admitted it himself that we don't have control over the price of fuel. So once we know that assertion or that tag that Aban Papa Abba, and that's the reason why the price of fuel is down, it doesn't add up.
Okay, so you are saying that
it doesn't add up.
COVID, Russia, Ukraine, and Israel, US, Iran are on the same pedestal.
If you want to pretend that they are not on the same pedestal,
I'm not pretending.
Not you. I'm just excuse me, not you. I'm just saying, if anyone wants to pretend that they are not on the same pedestal or the same level, that exogenous factors does affect us, they can continue to pretend. But the happiness or the reality currently is exposing us. The reality is exposing us that once we saw the price of fuel at the world market being low as 80 or 90 barrel, and we saw the price relative at our pumps very low. Once the war started, the price at international level has shot up, and consequently, it has affected the price at our pumps. So you can't continue to pretend that exogenous factors do not affect commodity pricing or do not affect us one way or the other. Then quickly, the assertion that government is trying to mitigate measures relative to ensuring that appointees and government officials,
don't
one way or the other,
fuel
coupon. You know, in July 2025, Mr. Mahama, the president, President Mahama, announced a similar ban on on the use of fuel coupons by government officials and appointees. This same directive that Felix announced, the minister announced yesterday, reiterated yesterday. I would like to ask, when was that ban lifted? When was that ban lifted?
A reiteration doesn't mean that it was lifted.
No, he didn't say that. He's reiterating it. I'm telling you that when was that ban lifted? Because I can prove to you that government agencies were, government officials were using fuel.
Where is your proof?
My proof is in the MTEF, the budget. You look at the 2025, the MTEF. MTEF basically is the medium-term expenditure framework of every budget. And the MTEF has a proper outline of the item-by-item expenditure and allocation of every government agencies or the budgetary allocation for all of that. Look at 2025, this Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the allocation for fuel and lubricants was 16,667 Ghana cedi. 16,667 Ghana cedi. Then you look at
for which
Ministry
categories of people?
It's basically for government officials.
So the daily graphic on page 3 captures this as presidential directive on fuel allowance. And I'll ask you a question based on what you have read. That the Minister of State in charge of government communications also revealed that President Mahama used the cabinet meeting to remind all ministers, senior government officials and appointees to adhere strictly to his ban on fuel allowances and the allocation of fuel. No further details were provided on the specific taxes or margins, blah, 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 blah. Now, I am saying that this is a reiteration of an earlier directive. you are quoting from a document that this is the fuel allocation to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Foreign Affairs Ministry is big. Passport Office comes under it. Many other agencies come under it. And they have to work. They have to move their vehicles. So unless you can tell me that this allocation is to the minister, is to the deputy minister of this, you cannot then say that is evidential enough.
That's fine.
Right. So you have
know
to
why?
drill into the details.
You know why there's an issue with that.
No, tell me.
Has the Ministry of Foreign Affairs added new agencies to that ministry? Has the government added new agencies to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? That we know of.
Or have they added new cars to their fleet?
If 2025, the allocation was 16,667,000 Ghana cedi. 2026, MTEF, the allocation is 5 million Ghana cedi. How can you tell me this? Anyone can check. They can check from official sources. How can you increase from 16,667 Ghana cedi to 5 million? Yes, you can check. Yes.
To 5 million.
Oh, I lie not to you. I lie not to you. That's why I mentioned it, the MTEF. Yes, but no, but it's here.
I'll give you a chance.
It's here. It's here. The MTEF. The MTEF of the ministry. It's here.
It's on their website.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Is it on their website?
Is it on their website?
Yes.
I assume so. Because I know how I got my this thing. Your producers can fact check. And how do you call it? I will. No problem. Oh yeah, they can fact check. I know.
Allow. Hey, Roger, sorry, I'm
Johnny,
going to mention your
Johnny,
dad's name.
I think it's
Sorry, Prosper, go ahead.
it's very disrespectful to be sounding this way.
No, Prosper, go ahead. You and wrap up for
You
me.
have your producers. You have your producers who can fact check this.
Like
last week, like we did last week. So it's very disrespectful for a qualifier to be telling me that.
No, it's okay.
How do you call it?
Ignore,
I'm telling lies.
Ignore.
I'm telling you that as at 2025, the allocation was 16,000. As at 2026, the allocation is 5 million Ghana cedi.
Okay. All right. Let me bring in and introduce Mr. Solomon Owusu of the United Party. He's just joined us. Solo, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Johnny. I'm doing great.
Why did you go and write on your Facebook page after the Soloku Festival that the people we saw at Menchia South wearing yellow shirts are your party members? Were you invited?
No, but
Why did you do that?
You know, we have been doing a lot of SOS. First of all, let me. There is a guy from the UK who admires you,
Okay.
Richard Bedu-Pepe.
Oh,
Shelley, he's in town.
Greetings to him
Yeah,
as well.
I should extend
Greetings to him
his
as well.
greetings to you.
Yeah.
So, Shelley, your greetings have been delivered.
Thank you.
Delivered.
Thank you.
Let me greet my brothers in the studios. You see,
Good morning to Ebo Bakman as well.
Abu
your deputy.
Bakman,
Yeah.
who is providing support services. The truth of the matter is that the United Party always provides the SOS assistance, save our souls. Ashanti region belongs to the UP. That's the truth of the
That
matter.
is not the truth.
That is the truth.
Per electoral record, it belongs to the MPP.
That was then. Now.
That's a stronghold of the
We
MPP.
dare them to just try us with any of the seats that they hold onto by election, and they will see.
So the people we saw in the yellow t-shirts are your members.
Our members, the people were not going, they were not attending the Soloku.
Oh.
So we had to intervene.
No, when I saw the thing on Facebook, I said no.
Which one was the dress? The New Patriotic Party.
The MP was in a green shirt, and others were in yellow shirts.
No,
Some were
no,
in
no.
blue. How do you then single out those who were in yellow and say that is your party? Those are your party
The New
members.
Patriotic Party's colors remains blue, red, and hot.
You remember
White.
that one?
I remember, but it was a party that was in there. Of
Yeah.
course, how can I forget the colors?
So what have you done with all your MPP paraphernalia?
You say?
What
What have you done? You were an executive at the local. What have
Hey.
you done with all your paraphernalia?
How I bend them.
You did what?
I bend them.
When there was a level field for the UP tradition to
I bend
beat
them.
the MPP to it in Ashanti region, we all saw their
No, but
figures.
the UP has not contested any elections. First of all,
We all saw their
you
this
see,
thing.
when Betty told you were lying, I disagreed with you, but now you are giving me reasons to agree with you.
Oh, no, but
the
it was a
United
movement for
Party
change.
has never contested.
It was a movement for change.
The movement for change has
A
never
chip-
contested.
a chip of
any-
the old bloc.
No. The movement for change has also not contested any elections.
You did? You contested.
Which election did we contest? You see, that's the problem we have. Alan Chemate contested as an independent candidate, for Christ's sake.
That's how you filed.
In fact, the movement for change is never a political party. So we couldn't have contested. Alan, go and check when they were doing the balloting for the independent candidates. That is how come we did not take part in the balloting. You know, they did the political parties who are own first.
That's right.
Before they brought Cheddar and go down.
and Alan,
so you see, education is key. We are yet, so the UP has not contested you. So don't say when there was a level playing field, you won against.
But I put it to you that the people we saw in the photos and videos at the Soloku Festival are not your members.
They are the UP members. And the MP himself agrees.
Oh.
He knows that he couldn't have persuaded the people of Ashanti region with the MPP colors. You are promoting.
What do you mean?
Who was going to follow?
Mention South.
Who was going to follow? Who was going to follow?
2020.
Yes.
Sorry, your mic has an issue. Sorry, the mic has an issue. Sorry. I solo use this.
But until 2028.
Are you disputing? No. Is it disputing the fact that those that wore yellow were UP members? Are you with the UP?
I don't have
you know our
enough
members.
facts to the contrary.
I wanted to wear yellow this morning.
Then what happened?
I think the Spirit of God prompted me that Solo conclude that I must be a UP member.
No, Prosper knows that wearing yellow in this country affiliates you to the United Party.
Oh, I took it. I was about
He
to
knows.
press it.
He has confirmed that position.
That's what?
That those that were wearing yellow are actually UP members. That is why he has refrained from wearing yellow. That a member of parliament for Manchia South was organizing a Soloko festival to market the new patriotic party will refuse to market the party's colors. Nothing semblance of the party, because he knows that if he had done so nobody would have partaken.
According to the Gospel of Solomon,
Yes.
Anybody who wears yellow is a UP member.
No.
Correct?
So.
Then I have to go and bend all my yellow shirt.
I didn't say I didn't know where yellow. No. I didn't say I didn't wear yellow because so
They have confirmed. So it was our members that took part in the Soloku, and then they were happy. At the end of the day,
who were happy? Your members were happy.
No, the Manchia MP, because it was going to be a boka. How can you organize a program, cook, provide drinks?
So you people ate some of the food.
We ate it, but they have money. They just left our. So we want to eat it. We have told them that the UP rules are.
You are not a good person.
No. When they do it 10 times, you go 10 times. Unless they decide to wear the new patriotic party.
Then you go.
Then we won't go. That one.
But if they wear yellow, then you know that it's your members.
If they say everyone should come with the colors, our party colors, we will go there beautifully with our yellow colors. And you saw how beautiful it
But
was.
they said Maggie sponsored that.
No,
Maggie's color is
Maggie could have. But if you are sponsoring my program, it's not you sponsoring your own program. You are sponsoring a program belonging to the MP. The MP wants to make himself relevant in the constituency and the region. Then you say adopt
So
a different color.
But it was not done for just MPP members.
No, he was doing it for MPP.
No.
The regional minister was there.
No, the regional minister pushed himself there. You know what happened? Because of the Asqua interchange, the painting that they did there, all of a sudden, the MPP in Asante region, they had to do something. Soloku, you are bringing an innovative idea. The people in Manchester, they are waiting for employment. They are looking for employment. You say Soloku.
But what is wrong with having Soloku?
What is Soloku? But for our people intervening there, you know what they were doing? Some were sharing condoms, some were
Come on, please.
This business of weed sharing, we must be looking into it.
Okay, if you have a problem, go to police.
I will report them.
This fuel intervention, quickly, take a bite on it.
You see,
are you satisfied?
That the government
has announced these measures.
No, man, I'm not. You see that
the buses that are going to charge lower fares and be distributed evenly so people can benefit. Fuel prices that have to drop because some taxes will be taken off over a 4-week window and then subject to review. And then allowances for fuel not being taken or coupons not being taken by key government officials. Does it satisfy you?
It doesn't satisfy me.
Why doesn't it not?
I'm on record to have said that I disagree with any attempt to remove any tax. You see, taxes are put on commodities or products for a specific reason. One of it was to retire the legacy debt. And remember when they were introducing, for instance, the Doomsday levy, they told us that it will also be used to buy crude to power our thermal plants.
Right.
So if they take it off and we begin to experience doom so, then where would we have gone to? I believe that there is some truths that we are not being told by the business community, especially those in the oil sector.
Which is?
The Strait of Hormuz. What percentage in terms of volumes do they control? Is it not 20% we are told? Those that are buying these BDCs that supply our market or supply the OMCs with their oil, do they get their crude or the finished product through the Strait of Hormuz? It's not true. Africa doesn't go through Strait of Hormuz. African products do not go through.
Look, all shipment from China to Africa.
Now, what do we buy our product from China?
Look,
No, we buy a lot of things from
We have
buy,
a lot
no,
of
I mean,
things.
you are talking
Look,
about
that's the
crude.
shortest
We are
route.
talking about crude.
crude.
So
okay.
where do we
Well,
get
Look, we
crude
buy
from?
from Rotterdam
Yes.
or Singapore.
Yes.
None of them use the Strait of Hormuz.
Where do they use Solomon?
No, they have a strait. You see, the Strait of Hormuz is between Saudi Arabia, Iran, crossing to the other side of Asia. You understand? And that is for them. Singapore take products, even some of the products from Africa, and process it into finished products and sell it. Rotterdam take it from Africa and process it or refine it and sell it.
Is that correct?
But what is not correct about what I'm saying?
Look, my understanding.
No, let me
from
finish.
okay.
So you have 100%. They say 20%
I'll fact check
passes
this quickly.
through the strait. So it means we have 80% to deal with. But most important, the BDCs. Are they telling me that when they pay for the price today, the products that they claim they bought will be supplied at the various for which you must pay for today's price? Those products that we are using in our various pumps, they bought it long ago. Rip off. They are ripping us off. That today, the world crude price increases on the international market and say we are made to pay it when we are not enjoying that product. By the way, we are also a net exporter of crude. So the windfall, what are we doing? That's why I'm saying that our solution must be that we use the windfall that we are also getting under the circumstance to cushion the people. Not go and catch any tax so that tomorrow we start experiencing doom. So it is worse to experience doom so than not to experience it. Then the government's own industrialization drive becomes a problem. Now you see, my brother prospered nothing. I don't know why sometimes you go and draw your own party into a needless banter and reminding the Ghanaian why they must not even listen to the New Patriotic Party.
I don't understand.
This whole politics of exogenous factors was never part of our body or politic or lexicon. That external factors will affect our local economy. It was never part of our political discourse. Until somewhere 2014, 2015, the NDC came out and said that because the world market prices of cocoa and gold had dropped significantly, it affected the economy. Then we had Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia come to tell us that how can exogenous factors or external factors bypass Cote d'Ivoire, bypass Burkina, bypass Mali, and then only hit Ghana. That was when he introduced us into this topic.
Solo was right.
You understand? And so,
with the cargo is right.
Yes.
and so,
The Strait of Hormuz.
Yes, only 20%.
and so,
And the affected African countries are even the Eastern African countries and not the West. So typically, government has no.
that's what I'm saying.
excuse to
It's
use
business
that.
semantics. They are just playing with our minds, and,
yeah.
and government must look sharp. Either they themselves are also covered.
Complicit-
Because you
complicit in
cannot
this.
convince me that today, international market moved to $20, and all of a sudden it affects the pump. When the product that we are buying was bought long ago.
It's like Makola market
Exactly.
tactics.
And by the way,
You have already brought the things in a
you
container,
say
stocked
because
it.
has increased,
Then
and so
say,
we are-
oh, Achaki
we are not
price,
being
oh,
told the
Achaki.
truth. You understand? And we are allowing some of these things to fester.
Will the buses help?
The buses also have a difficulty with it.
Why?
You
What's
see,
your difficulty?
we don't have a lot of itinerary routes. If you are coming from, say, in Sawam to Accra,
It's one route.
one route, and all of
It's
it.
only when we get to Achimota that you can
Exactly. You see,
spread out.
We have not done a proper stock taking. It's not as though we don't have buses in the system. the buses most often are stuck in traffic. So they pick the passengers, they get stuck in traffic, and they are not able to offload them on time to go back and pick them. So you can bring more than 10,000 buses onto the same situation will happen.
You are speaking from a transport
perspective. So when they announced that they were going for the buses, I said it, that it was a wrong diagnosis of the situation. But rather we must spend the energy on maintaining the rails. For now we have some rail lines that we could quickly fix and then let it work side by side with the road transport.
But the last time we did, we went to buy tram, not train.
That so chop.
Baby police.
Even that one they said it had an accident.
No,
remember?
that one we fixed it.
How did we fix it?
But it was fixed.
This MPP and the other. So
but was it the not fixed? That thing is
they
running.
never fixed it.
Go through Akumadan, it's working.
This country we have had things so
low.
That
it's too early in the morning.
My brother, when I'm going this way, it doesn't like.
Early in the morning.
So I believe that aspect.
So the government got it wrong in diagnosing the problem.
No, they have gotten it
by
wrong.
Bringing in those buses.
No, they have gotten it. And you see, we are even going to have a lot of problems. This metro mass, what are the KPIs that we give to them? The last time we were told that we were selling buses scrap value of 2,000.
We're cannibalizing.
How can a Busuapeni be given a set of more than 300 buses, and a year after he cannot tell us that he increased the fleet, but rather half of the fleets are parked, and we continue to give them more cars at the expense of you and I. So my attitude is that if government wants to help the transport sector, you go behind the private sector. You can give guarantees. The private sector, all that they need is LCs and then guarantees.
Right.
And go to the very manufacturers and procure these buses. That one, you are assured of repayment of the tax revenue, and you are assured of what? Efficiency. That is the only way you deal with this problem. But government going in directly, we are only creating chop. You will see the corruption levels there. And they will come and give us beautiful nonsense excuse that go to their yard, find a lot of buses parked. You ask them what's the problem. Some are bold, some are empty. But when you were operating the buses, didn't you make allowance for maintenance?
Okay, so my friend at Shell comes back. My source at Shell comes back to say they have not changed the price from 14 cedis, 19 pesos for PMS, 17 cedis, 69 pesos for Ago, V-Power 15 cedis, 79 pesos. They have maintained the prices, so they are not moving to 14 cedis, 39 pesos, and 17 cedis, 89 pesos. So the 20 pesos, yes.
And even with that, you see, let it be stated.
I'm also checking on
but
the
still
foreign
higher
affairs.
than when MPP left.
It is still higher than when the NPP
So that
left,
is
but it is
fine.
less than where the NPP took us to at a point. Remember in 2022, for the first time in the history of this country, we were buying a liter of diesel at 23.49. That is using both levels.
Gone past that.
You are now bringing past. You say we are gone past, and we should be past. Let us all stay there. You are bringing the past. And I am remaining with you. That's why I say that it is never good for the new patriotic party to go back to history, because the history does not favor them.
Okay, Ima, step in for me. And on that same note, you were talking about the fact that when the NPP was leaving power, it was way cheaper than what we have now. And then you usually find a rate on our Facebook stream now. One of our very ardent listeners is asking the question, how much was crude selling on the international market at the time? Because it also has an influence, just as Mr. Metal and Prosper Nati have alluded to.
Well, I don't have those.
I'll give it to you, right?
I don't have those
I'll give it to you
statistics
right
here.
now.
So look, wait, you had your time.
But
I don't need that information. I
It's
don't
okay.
need.
So
your
you
help.
get the information. When it gets your time, you can.
You see, Johnny, we have to stop the politics of war in this country.
Why do we have to stop?
I think that
But you people brought it.
it has not helped us as a country. The assertion that external factors always influence our fuel prices to some extent is flawed. You see that the Iranian Israeli/American war, prices shot up across Africa. In some African countries, they are even queuing to buy fuel. But fortunately for us, we are not queuing. But we just did a fact check here, and it shows that only 20% of crude oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. And it is only Eastern African countries that are impacted by that, and not West African countries. So our politicians, we want to plead with them. They should cultivate the habit of communicating honestly with the Ghanaian people, because Ghanaians are becoming fed up with the political correctness of the two political parties. And more often than not, when we go for discussions like this, it turns MPP NDC banter. You see, John Mahama stated categorically, and I'm quoting him, that the Iranian war is not going to affect the economy of this country. He said that, correct?
Right.
So to me, I see that as a sort of I'm coming.
What is missing?
I was looking for the right word. I think to me, it is some sort of cold comfort to a market woman and commuters in Saboba, in Tamale, at Makwala, who are paying 19% more in diesel. Do you understand? So that is cold comfort. That was the promise he made to the good people of this country. And I premise my introduction with communicating honestly on that. So you remember, on this very platform, we indicated that, look, government came out to say that they had enough to cushion us, given what was happening in Iran. And we cautioned that they should trade cautiously, because we don't want, after some time, they'll come back to us and some of these things will be in play. And this is exactly what we are having now. So to me, if you look at the president's posture, I like it. He's been a listening president. You see that when the price increment came, when was that? On the 1st, correct? Of this month, April. Then at a forum in Kwewu, the business forum, he indicated that he was going to have an emergency cabinet meeting, you understand, to address the increasing cost of fuel. So this is my honest concern.
Right.
Why announce an emergency measure of this nature at a festival forum and not through agent state address? It shouldn't have been mentioned at a forum like the Kohu Business Forum. There should have been an agent state address to the country, because this is a very serious matter, you understand? So one would say that it only signals reactive and not proactive governance. And if you look at the other leg of the argument,
You mean the government is being reactive?
Exactly.
Not
it's not
proactive.
proactive governance. And I'm come to look at the MPP. MPP had been signaling and calling for the government to reduce fuel prices. Is that correct? Now, the Transport Owners Association wanted to meet the Minister of Transport on the 7th over this same issue, because they were threatening fare increases and stuff like that. And then even the sachet water people also came. They wanted to increase what have you.
They have also rescinded their decision.
Exactly. So to me, the posture of the president, if you
Increasing
look
their
at
price
it,
or attempting to.
you see, if you look at the posture of the president, you see he only moved when political heat became unavoidable.
Okay.
These are how I see things panning out. So now, you are saying that you want to remove certain taxes, 4 weeks window pending the review. I have a serious challenge around that.
What is your
challenge?
challenge?
I agree with Solo.
What is your challenge?
You see, the politics of tax removers. You come and remove certain nuanced taxes, and you are implementing others, and you are calling yourself Abam Papa. You don't rob Peter to pay Paul. It doesn't add up. It comes back to the same value.
Is it the government that called itself Aban Papa, or the people that call the government Aban Papa?
Who are the people calling the Abam Papa? Who are the people? Is the government calling itself Abam Papa?
Which government official have you heard say that?
Which
official
my friend Mental said it here.
He said
My
Abam
friend
Papa.
Mental said it here. And look at the buses. I'm coming to the buses. You see, these buses were procured to ease traffic congestion.
That's right.
But the government is making it look as if they are implementing those buses because of the sudden rise in fuel prices to give cushion to Ghanaians.
I'm not sure that is the impression.
That was the impression they communicated at the cabinet meeting.
No. Proud to
directives were given.
Hold on.
And I'm coming.
Hold on. Just for clarity's sake. Prior to this announcement of the wrap of the cabinet meeting, if you remember, sometime during the Utah season in December, the government asked that agencies, ministries give up their buses because the trot drivers were profiteering and shooting up their prices. So they got free transport. People had a lot of relief. After the season, workers had to go back to work. So the buses reverted to where they were.
We had that conversation with the Ayalolo, you remember?
And then based on that, you found the long winding queues in the street corners.
You see?
And then that was when the minister, Mr. Nikpe, said, look, we have to find a way, and made the first announcement that these buses were going to come, 300 of them. We're going to get the first one as we have now.
No.
Then we'll get the second tranche in August, and then the third tranche in November. So it is not
Johnny,
relative to the fuel price reduction.
Did you listen to
What? Hold on.
He gave categorical directive.
Cotton, relax. I'm giving you a historical perspective.
I understand all of
and
those,
then to
Johnny.
wrap up, he said that take these buses to Metro Mass, but price lower than what is already in the market, and make sure that they are taken to where people need them the most. How is that trying to play into the politics of fuel pricing?
Even if that was the case.
You explain to me. No, that is the case. You explain to me.
Okay. You see, these buses were already procured for what you have said.
Yes.
Right.
But after the cabinet meeting, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye addressing the press.
You mean what he said?
What he said?
Okay. You didn't like what
He
he said.
didn't. The posture was that the 100 buses were procured to help cushion Ghanaians as a result of the high prices of the food.
But you're listening very carefully.
And yes, I listened to. It's about English semantics. You play it here. I listened to him.
Yes.
You can replay it for the good
it's
people
too
to
long.
listen.
We beg you. We have played
And
it already.
the point is this: equity. 100 buses. If you want to distribute that across the country, let's say the city centers that we have choked traffic.
Right.
How many people can get access to board these buses? So let's look at a holistic approach like my good brother Solomon is talking about. We shouldn't be scoring political cheap points because we want to win the next election.
Okay.
Let's fix our country.
Thank you. We will move on.
I'm not finished.
We have to manage the time. So Mr. Nate, I want you to rehash that conversation about fuel allowances. You mentioned something per record that you have from the Foreign Affairs Ministry. The Foreign Affairs Ministry. Some people close to them are listening. So you rehash the figures so we can fact check.
Okay. All right.
You were saying that in
2026.
Okay.
Is it 1.something million?
No, 2026, 5 million.
5 million.
Yes.
So you said
2026, fuel and lubricants.
Okay. Allocation
Yes.
was 5 million.
5 million.
Okay.
Page 2
Of
You are
what?
saying
of how do what?
Hold on,
No,
hold on.
the
I-
16,000 to 2025.
Please hold on.
16,000.
Hold on. I want. So go ahead.
Yes.
1.something.
Your microphones are off, gentlemen. Yes, let's hear you. So you said in the previous year,
Yes.
in 2024.
2025.
No, you were measuring that 5 million, comparing that 5 million with an initial figure.
I was comparing the 5 million, the 2026 figure now,
Okay.
to 2025 figure.
So 2025, how much was allocated?
16,000.
16,000 what?
Yes.
Dollars or cedis?
16,667 Ghana cedi.
16,667 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
In 2025.
Yes.
And then in 20. Oh, hold on. Oh, please.
I've seen it. It's 1.6.
No, I want.
No, my brother, it's 1.6.
Allow.
1.6 something.
Hold
they
on.
moved to 5 million.
Iman,
It's
hold
not
on.
hard- No,
Iman, hold on.
I'm
Hold
helping
on.
my brother.
Hold on.
It can't be
Hold on.
160 something.
Did
Check
you
it well.
did you give him the document?
Eh?
Did you give the document?
When he mentioned I cross-checked.
Well,
You
how
crossed
did
it from
cross
where?
Let me see what
You crossed it
On
from
their
where?
website, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's 1.6.
So I need him to be clear on that so that it helps me
So
to
you
do
can
my
ask
fact
a follow-up
checking.
question.
You know, to do my fact checking.
Okay.
Just like I did for the fuel price now.
Johnny, it's not true.
He won the
it
first
doesn't-
one.
So no, it doesn't lie in your mouth to say it is not
It's
true.
not true.
So Prosper, sorry. So 16,000, is it 1.6 or 16,000 for 2025?
Apologize and let's move on.
Oh no. What I'm saying here is 16,000.
How can you say
But
16,000?
even I'm coming.
Oh, Solo, allow him, please.
Solo. When we were speaking, I listened
All
to
right,
you.
all right.
16,000. That's what I'm saying here.
Okay.
But even if it's 1.6.
No.
Oh, Solo, you are not the one moderating the show.
Solo,
Please,
allow him.
Let's
Allow
show
him.
some decorum here, please.
Allow him. So
I
I need
interject
no
here.
first.
I'm coming.
No,
I'm coming. I mentioned
I
16,000.
will let you do the analysis.
Yes.
Slow down. But I want. But
Oh no, I understand some of these things.
don't-
Just
don't-
trigger
don't.
me,
Pay-
then
pay-
I'll lose focus.
pay attention
I'm
to
listening
me.
to you, Johnny.
So, Ms. Anati, I want you to give me the two figures that we are
Yes.
comparing. 2025, it was 16,000, or let's say even 17,000 Ghana cedis for the Foreign Affairs Ministry. And then you say the figure in 2026 ballooned from 17,000 or 16,000 plus to 5 million. Is that what I hear you say?
Yes. The
Okay.
2026 figures.
Great. Now the analysis quickly. Take a minute on that.
All right. So what I'm saying is that from what do you call it, Mr. Ima said, granted is even 1.6 million.
Right.
Granted is even 1.6 million. How can 1.6 million balloon to 5 million? No. But you see, the official documents are there.
You said 16,000.
Oh no, Solo.
No, but Johnny, he just confirmed. So they cannot be granting anything here.
Oh.
Iman says he
He
saw
might
1.6.
has no document here. He's just trying to play the devil's. That's why I said we need to get it right. Is he saying that entire ministry, the allocation of fuel in 2025 was only 16,000 cities? What are we talking about?
It was 1.
So I'm coming in Solo Dan. Can I have my can I have my this thing
Yeah,
now?
you have your
Yes.
whole day.
And I don't have the whole day. I'm saying that even if per my quotation, instead of 1.6 million,
16.
I said 16,000. How can 1.6 million
Yes.
balloon
That's it,
to
yes.
5 million? Balloon to 5 million.
Okay.
I'm coming.
let me see the
John, I'm
document.
coming. Let me conclude.
Let me
John,
see
let
the
me conclude.
document. You
Let me
conclude,
conclude.
but I wanna see
I
the
can
document.
forward the document to your.
Okay.
Let me forward to your producer.
Okay. All right.
And I don't have. Johnny, I'm coming.
Go ahead. The microphone.
I don't have any shred of difficulty to admit when I'm wrong in the face of fact.
Okay.
Obviously, I'll just admit, apologize, and stick to the original facts. But I'm telling you that if it's 1.6 million, how should 1.6 million balloon to 5 million?
Okay.
And after my submission, I'm forwarding the two documents, the 2025 MTEF document and 2026 MTEF document. It's on page 2.
Okay.
On all years, it's on page 2.
I
Then
hear
quickly, Solo said.
No, we are not doing
No, I'm
rebuttals now.
coming. No, but he said something that's very, very important.
On what?
He said we don't have the right to talk about external factors, and that it was Dr. Bomian who brought that issue into our body.
No, if we start that, we will not- we
into
will
our
not
body
do so.
politics.
I'm sorry.
No, but it was President Mama who said it during the SONA that the economic challenge in China is what necessitated the challenges we have now. It was President Mama who said it during the SONA. No, but during the SONA, yeah, obviously. So if the challenge was in China, and the challenge jumped Cote d'Ivoire,
Yes.
jumped Togo,
Yes.
jumped Burkina,
Yes.
and it's affecting only Ghana,
Yes.
shouldn't any sensible person raise a concern to it?
Ukraine. So you pay your own analysis.
Uh-huh.
He has said that we couldn't have been, our economy couldn't have been affected by
Uh-huh.
exogenous factors.
No, that wasn't what he said. No,
Ah,
that
that
wasn't
is
what he
what you're
said.
saying.
That wasn't what he said. He didn't use the word exogenous
external
factors in
factors.
all.
Let's say
No.
What did he
Be
say?
specific
No,
to
what did
the
he say?
China issue. President Mama
fantastic.
referenced
So-
during the
so-
SONA.
so he
President
meant-
Mama referenced China.
Yes.
That the economic situation in
Yes.
China
Yes.
is what's affecting the economic situation
Exactly.
in Ghana.
I agree.
That's China.
Yes.
You can't compare China
to Ukraine.
No, it's not about China to Ukraine. You can't compare China
To
to the
Russia.
trade. No, you see. So allow me to. You are not the one moderating to directing my thoughts. You can't police.
But
You can't police
you're
my
addressing
opinion.
him.
What I'm saying is that the war happening between two countries, where other countries benefit from, or other countries trade with, will impact more than a challenge in one single country like China. That's why I'm saying that Dr. Bawumia was
So it
right.
was in a context.
Well, exactly. In relation to the China, in relation to the, you will not believe it. It's not about your screaming. It's not about your screaming.
China,
No.
look,
So I'm coming.
Let me deal with that.
This antics,
It's
I know.
antics.
It's
You
antics,
are
I know.
rather destroying the
I'm destroying
credibility
what?
of your candidate by your
Which
asking that-
credibility?
No,
Which
no,
credibility?
listen.
Which credibility?
Your candidate
Which
himself
credibility?
said that external factors.
He did.
He didn't do
Are you
Okay,
able?
let's
See,
play it.
Johnny.
Let's play this.
If your producers can play, they should
Let
play.
them
And I
play.
also quote for you.
let's play.
I also quote for you the exact words of
The
President Mama, which I'm
producers
referencing.
must do
No,
everything on that.
All right.
no, so
Okay.
don't do that because you said you said a lot of things, but that one
Thank you.
was very straightforward. That is one
I'm
thing I
grateful.
know of.
The big conversation on 3FM Sunrise.
Hey, count. No, sit down. Where are you going, Solo? Sit down. Why are you wearing green? Those are NDC colors, green and brown and red. And red. It looks like white. Thank you. Well, we're back. It's 42 minutes after 9 on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Say again. We're back. Thank you very much. My guest, Prosper Nati of the NPP, Mr. Metal Nunu Jr. of the NDC, Solomon Owusu, Director of Communications of the United Party, and Mr. Emmanuel Coating. He's the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Counterterrorism, and he's joined us now in studio. Thank you, gentlemen, for staying with us, and your thoughts and comments on our social media page. Quite interesting, though. But Mr. Ken Ofori Atta, he has been released from ICE detention. Why is it becoming so difficult to get him to come to Ghana to answer simple questions? OSP has not been able to bring him. Attorney General has not been able to bring him. Yet you are up the mountain screaming Operation Recover or Loot. Metanunu, what is happening to your government?
Yeah, Johnny, thank you very much. I thought with the way you gave Prosper some few minutes to
You are in
come
power.
back.
Take your time. You are in
on
power.
the
You
floor
have government
so that
communication.
you would have given me
No, it's
at least
okay.
1 minute.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, gentlemen. We don't have too much time. I'm saying you are in government. You are in government. Tomorrow, even this evening, Felix can call us at the Jubilee House and do press conference.
So how many minutes do I have to respond to this?
I'm coming.
Global phenomenon. Skip Cote d'Ivoire and all the surrounding countries and only attack Ghana.
What was that?
The question that you have to ask is
Mama reference. But you see, this thing
Was he not responding to my message?
was not responding to
Was
President
he not
Mama.
responding to no?
Was
wait.
not responding to
Was he
President
not
Mama.
responding to John Mahama? Was he not
Responding to President
John
Mama.
What he was trying to say.
Now you are trying to say what he's trying to say, not what he has said.
What he said.
When there is something he has said, you are not trying to tell us that what he's trying to
I will
say.
even say what trying to say.
Uh-huh.
What he said
Uh-huh.
was that under no circumstance would any external phenomenon.
No, was it
affect-
not a response to President Mama?
So why did he refer to
If the logic
Was not.
If the
Oh,
logic,
oh, no,
Why was he referring
no.
to
By then, do you have?
Gentlemen.
Why was
Russia
he
and Ukraine war.
Why were you referring
But I just gave you understanding that the issue happening between Russia and Ukraine cannot be compared to the.
Gentlemen, hold on. Our time is spent.
if Bawumia was responding to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in the context that he
There is
did,
nothing like contest.
okay, granted, he was responding to John Mahama.
He was responding
So-
to the general feelings in the
So
economy.
if you are responding to my statement, how can that statement emanate from you?
Yes.
When you are responding to what I have said.
He wasn't speaking out of the blue. He wasn't speaking out of the
man
blue.
said that external factors couldn't affect our economy. And you, the same person that said that, you came to power and you were making reference to external factors.
No,
I'm not sure we can find an end to this matter. Metal Nunu, step in for me.
Yes.
Ken Ofori Atta. Their mics are off. Don't mind them. Wear your headset. Don't mind them. Ken Ofori Atta. Why has it become so difficult for you to bring Ken Ofori Atta into Emmanuel? Slow down. Why has it become so difficult for you to bring Ken Ofori Atta to answer the questions that he has to answer?
Yeah, Johnny, that's why before I continue, I ask whether how many minutes I have to respond to this question.
This one, you have 2 minutes.
I have 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
So
everybody has 2 minutes.
I can't really other response.
Because
let me handle Ken Ofori Atta.
You are using the time to help yourselves.
On that. So, with the issue of Ken Ofori Atta, Johnny, can you imagine that Ken Ofori Atta would have been in custody of the security services in Ghana for 3 months? Do you know what the narrative would have been?
What would they have been?
Right now, because he's been in custody, when was he arrested? In the ICE cells there, I think 7th of January.
Right.
And after 3 months, he's been granted bail. Can you imagine the narrative, what it would have been if it was in the custody of security services in Ghana? They would have told us that this is kangaroo justice system. They would have told us that this is witch hunting. They would have told us that he's not getting a fair trial and all that. But being in custody there, that one there is a fair trial. We have not said that we at all costs want to witch hunt Ken Ofori Atta. And the government of John Dramani Mahama, through the Attorney General, has reassured the people of Ghana and him and his lawyers that when he comes to this country, he's going to get fair trial. Why, your question, that's why is it becoming difficult for us to extradite him to Ghana? We need to follow processes. And the fact that he's been granted bail on these immigration issues doesn't mean that the extradition process has also come to a halt or anything.
But he was granted bail based on a judicial order that, look, so far you have not presented anything to the courts there. That's why the judge said, look, we can't continue holding the man. That's one.
But why was he held up in the first place?
Well,
was it because of the extradition process, or was it because of an immigration issue? Why was he held up there in the first place? And then we are saying that, see, we are following all due process. And then I like the fact that everybody in Ghana is seeing what is going on. And Ken Ofori Atta will be made to come and answer for all the allegations that have been meted out against him.
Sedinam Ationu at Maslock was
Johnny,
tried in absentia.
She was charged when she was present.
Well,
the case started when she was present.
But do you need Ken Ofori Atta to be present before you charge?
She was granted bail and the case proceeded. But with the issue of Ken Ofori Atta, he needs to be present for us to be able to charge him.
I don't understand you. That's
the lawyers have explained that before you can come and answer questions, come and then let's chat. And then after, you can tell us that you are sick, and then you go on bail, and then people can stand in for you.
So
but you're not coming at all.
You have been looking for the man. You've been chasing the man, asking for the man to come. The man is refusing to come, clearly. What we hear now is that he's looking for permanent residency in the US, etc. So go to the court and tell the court that we have tried everything we can. We are not finding him. So we want to begin the process. Is that too hard to ask?
That is why we have started the extradition process to bring him to Ghana. So it's also part of the process.
Does he have to be bodily present?
It's also
Does he have to be bodily present?
It's also, Johnny,
yes.
when if he gets a permanent residence in the US, and then we try him in absentia, and then the case goes to its fruitful end, and he's convicted of any of the allegations or the charges that's meted out against him, how are we going to get him into custody? How are we get him to pay for the things that he has done, the sins that he has committed? We are not going to be able to get him. If he knows in his heart, truly, that he has committed no offense, if he knows in his heart that he has not been corrupt in any way, he should not be running away from the justice system in Ghana.
But the man
and
is
I think that
innocent
it will help the MPP. It will help Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. For them, because when we talk about corruption today, and we are talking about any discussion that's to do with corruption in Ghana, any political party, any well-meaning Ghanaian references Ken Ofori Atta, then why is he on the run? So if they think that they are serious, and they are serious in going into the 2028 elections, and they want to tell the people of Ghana that the Bawumia that we knew yesterday is a changed person, and is detaching himself from the bad records of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he should come out publicly and tell Ghanaians that he does not have anything to do with him, and speak on the Ken Ofori Atta issue, that he has advised him that he should come to Ghana and clear his name. And the fact that he comes to Ghana, the allegations, the fact that he comes to Ghana, isn't want to be working freely. The allegations against him, the other SML people, the people in there, aren't they working on the streets of Ghana? So if Ken Ofori Atta comes, one person is alleged,
yes.
But the rest that have been tried in Ghana here, that they've gone to court, they've been granted bail and they're working freely. If he comes to Ghana and clears his name, it will inure to the benefit of the MPP going into the 2028 elections. We are saying that we are not chanting him. We are going to follow all the legal proceedings and make sure that we extradite him to come to Ghana to answer for the offenses that he has done. This is a man that caused old people to get stroke. This is a man that touched the pensions money of Ghanaians. The domestic debt exchange program.
But it was a necessary
This is a man.
evil.
This is the man that caused these people to get stroke. This is a man that caused the former Attorney General, the former Chief Justice, to come and picket at the Minister of Finance. This is a man that caused old people, some people, to lose their lives. And we are calling you to come and answer after celebrating the fact that you are borrowing with Wache and Kenke at your ministry. You've served your term. Come and answer your questions that you were at the helm of affairs. You don't want to come back.
I think that you're being too
I've not heard this thing before.
You're being too charitable to the Attorney General. He should be the one to be answering these questions.
That is why I am saying that the Attorney General has
you
come out.
You give us too much hope in opposition.
Now you people say
that when you come, we will deal with them. They are working. Everybody is working free.
But Johnny, you
all
see,
the names you mentioned, they are working free.
Johnny, you see, but Johnny,
some are even on platforms, social media platforms. They are on TV and radio platforms,
Johnny,
saying that you are incompetent. You can't do FOCO.
But Johnny, you've been a strong advocate for democracy.
Yes.
You've been a strong advocate for human rights.
I don't
You've been
doubt
a strong
that.
advocate for the due process to be followed.
I don't doubt that.
And the 1992 Constitution and the judicial system in Ghana guarantees certain steps that we follow.
Right.
Even when you file a writ of summons against somebody, it takes about 8 days for the person to reply. The person can choose to reply or enter conditional appearance, which increases the days. And then the back and forth and the follow
So
witness
all
statements
this
and all
that you were doing
these
in
are
opposition
processes.
was
We have told you that we are going to make sure that the people
when
we are
when
recovering.
when
We are following the processes. How would you started the cases?
How much have you recovered?
How would you
so
started
far?
the cases?
How much have you recovered?
How would
so
you
far?
start? Some of them have come and they are negotiating that they are going to pay some of the money. But the cases have started. The people are in court. The cases are ongoing. You don't expect us to do a kangaroo justice system.
It is 15 months.
You don't expect us to do a kangaroo.
Recovered one person.
But Johnny, that is the process, legal process. So we should all be
what
talking.
is process?
You and I should be talking about how to inform the legal process.
In opposition, you told us that you had oral. Oral had gathered enough information.
So how we started the cases?
When you come, Pampana.
How we charge them? How we charge them?
Now we are
when
waiting.
we came Pampana, within a short time, the people were charged. They were sent to court. They are answering questions. And we are following legal proceedings. Some of them are attending trial almost every other day. Look at Edu Boyne. He's attending court almost every other day. The Attorney General's office, when you go there now, they are not resting. And I like the job that he and his deputy, they are doing so much. We need more legal hands on board, and we are going to get them on board. So the processes are ongoing.
Okay.
This is not a military junta where you can just get up and catch somebody or PDA time and then throw somebody in jail. We are following all the legal processes. They have been charged.
You mentioned that John Mahama had a first 100 days, right?
120 days campaign promise.
Great.
And then after that,
and part of that was to set up tribunals.
Yes.
Where are the tribunals?
Oh, Johnny.
I don't say, oh, Johnny. Answer my question.
Johnny, 120 days. No. No. I did not sit here to say that John Mahama 120 days promise was all achieved 100%.
No.
I told you that 80%
I
of them.
didn't say you have said
yes,
that.
so 80%. So therefore,
I didn't say you have said
pushing
no.
back that statement to me, I didn't mention tribunals.
I didn't say you have said
and
that.
And I also didn't mention that.
Oh,
so
please, gentlemen,
tribunals,
allow me to
we
ask
did not
my
score
question.
100%.
I
We
am
scored
saying,
about 80,
I'm
90%.
saying that John
So
Mahama gave us 120 days pact.
Yes.
And said that in 120 days I'll do this. We applaud him for choosing 60 ministers or under 60 ministers. We applaud him for all their things. The tribunals.
But we did not achieve 100%.
But it's been 1 year.
But we will not achieve 100%. And I mentioned that we achieved over 90%. So the tribunals you're talking about could be part of the 10%. Johnny, the tribunals you're talking about could be part of the 10%. So
you have oral information.
But when you have oral information, the legal processes shows that after the legal processes show that after you've gotten the information, you need to investigate, you need to charge the people, and then send them to
I
court.
hear you. Prosper, step in for me. Step in for me. Why is Ken Ofori Atta refusing to come home?
You know this matter. Let me set the record straight. That when I spoke about the fuel price component, about what causes fuel price to increase, I mentioned one.
You are going back. You are not concluding on this one. It's not related to Ken Ofori Atta. Yes, Mr. Nati.
Johnny.
Yes, sir.
I think it's.
Where is Ken Ofori Atta? Where is Ken Ofori Atta? Prosper Nati.
It's in the US.
But he said that he was our father, and that he doesn't want to leave his children.
No problem.
Now his children are calling him to come home.
No problem.
And he's refusing to come home.
No problem. Johnny,
what kind of a father is this?
He spoke for 11 minutes. We all kept quiet and listened to him. So, with all due respect, I expect the same level.
I was asking him questions.
No, you were asking. I said,
yes,
we the qualified
okay,
so I understand.
That's fair. That's a fair comment.
Yes. For 11 minutes, he showed so much enthusiasm in recovering loot for the country. Johnny, I would rather go in for a thief than a suspect. A thief that has been convicted by the courts of the country. And when I say a thief, I mean Sedinam Tamaklo. The courts have pronounced her to be a thief. She's a criminal. You are here referencing and linking Ken Ofori Atta to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. When Sedinam Tamaklo was on the run, Mama was still campaigning. Was Mama supporting the thief? Was Mama keeping the thief at home? Was Mama aiding a thief to run away from justice? You come here, sit here. When the issues about Ken Ofori Atta, you find a way to rope in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Sedinam Tamaklo was on the run. Mama still was campaigning and he became president. You are not wiser than Ghanaians out there. And all Ghanaians are not NDC members. You need to know that. And so when you are speaking, you should know that you are not speaking to your party members. You are speaking to Ghanaians. Why are you not exercising the same energy or authority to go after Sedinam Tamaklo? We're not here when the High Commissioner, the ambassador in US, told us that Sedinam Tamaklo was found and she has been caught and she'll be deported to Ghana. Right. Where is she? How many weeks now?
That was the US ambassador.
Exactly, Victor Smith. You have the effort to sit here and question why Ken Ofori Atta, an innocent man, because no court whatsoever, irrespective of your opinion and your assumptions you have about him, no court has pronounced him guilty.
Mr. Nati,
you have the right.
Mr. Nati,
I'm coming. I'm addressing this.
Mr. Nati, do innocent men run?
Do what?
Do innocent men run?
Innocent men.
Gentlemen, please. Do innocent men run?
Innocent men have the right or have the privilege to exercise every right available to them under the sun.
Including staying away from the jurisdiction and seeking to remain a member of their country.
How does that stop any sensible or any hardworking or any determined government from going after the loot? How do you stop the government from going after the loot?
But if Mr. Ofori Atta indeed has done nothing,
which law
even permits him? Is he afraid?
Which law even permits him that when he comes and the investigators are asking him questions, he should open his mouth and talk? No law permits him that when he comes, he should open his mouth and talk. He can come and be quiet. How does that help your case?
Was that why you were encouraging people to go to court?
No, Johnny, you see, how does that help your case? If you believe you've gathered enough evidence, against the man, you can able to secure conviction against the man. You shouldn't be worried about what the man does. The man has properties in Ghana here. Doesn't he? The man has properties in Ghana here, doesn't he? And you come here, you sit here. He has businesses here. He has opened enterprise or so for over 20 something years, over 2 decades, almost 3 decades here. He has Data Bank, a bank that the Bank of Ghana recently listed as part oh, come on.
Go ahead.
You took it off by you listed. We also saw that publication. And you come and sit here and you feel you can't secure conviction if you have enough evidence against such a man. And you think the man should be here.
You should bring him home.
So you do what? So you do a public spectacle. You do a public spectacle of him.
Is the MPP not worried, Mr. Nati, that the absence of Mr. Ken Ofori Atta feeding into a certain narrative that he's done something wrong, that's why he's running away? Is the MPP not worried that it could affect the MPP campaign and Dr. Bawumia eventually?
Ken Ofori Atta was a minister of finance under the MPP.
Right.
As we speak now, Ken Ofori Atta is not an office holder of MPP. A convict. Is not an office holder of MPP. He didn't hold any office in MPP as a corporate body for you to say the MPP should be worried about. Were the NDC worried about the thief Sedinam Tamaklo? When they still went out to campaign,
Ghanaians voted for them irrespective of.
He was here. The Ghanaians voted for them because Ghanaians are able to decipher issues. You are here talking about bondholders. Yes, it's painful, but we all saw what it led to. You have an issue with bondholders, but you don't have an issue with the old woman in Makola whose properties were burnt, and for that reason, Masrok was giving money to go and cushion them. What did she do with the money? And you come here, you sit, and you feel you have the effrontery to question someone who feels when he comes here with the treatment others have,
but
or the treatment that has been meted to others.
Mr. Nati, it's good to reference Sedinam so it puts a perspective to it. But Mr. Ofori Atta, as finance minister, spent monies on National Cathedral that not even cabinet, not parliament approved of. That's also stealing, is it not?
Is it not? You see,
Allegedly spent.
there was essential motion. There was essential motion against Ken Ofori Atta
By his own party people.
not by his own party people. How do you call it? Atto Forcing and co. There was essential
Lawyer
motion.
Piakubi is not a party member.
No, the essential motion.
Eugene Asante is not a party member.
Calling for the sack.
There were over 90 MPs on your
Johnny,
side.
I think on this one you are missing issues. The essential motion that was brought against Ken Ofori Atta was led by Atto Forcing.
That is after 90 plus
And
members
I'm telling
of
you
your
that,
side had come to say that they are.
I'm saying that in relation to the cathedral issue you mentioned.
Hold on. There were 90 plus members of parliament, led by lawyer Piakubi, who addressed a press conference in Parliament that day. That said that they had gone on a holiday and their constituents had gathered them and told them that they have to come and sack Ken Ofori Atta and Charles Seduboahim. If not, they will not listen to the budget or participate in the debate. That's the first time we have seen that in Ghana's history. Since
Johnny,
Nkrumah.
Johnny, I'm not disputing that. I reference
and then the follow up to that was when Atto Forcing, taking or deriving strength from what Apiakubi and his team did, filed the censure motion. So you would have to give that chronology in the way.
The chronology you can cite, but at the end the censure motion had specifics. You can present a censure motion with the understanding that colleague MPs who are in the same party rose against a minister, and for that reason the minister should resign or should be sacked. That wasn't passed.
Is that not a vote of no confidence?
No, I'm coming. You see, that is a different issue. That's what I'm saying. Let's not muddy the situation. You call.
How am I muddying the situation?
You reference the cathedral.
Right.
And I'm also citing that the censure motion, as filed by Atto Forcing and colleague, the cathedral issue was part of it, wasn't it?
Right.
What was the outcome of such a motion? What was the outcome? We all saw the outcome. We all saw the outcome.
Okay.
Of that.
So
that
when are we to
motion.
expect Ken Ofori Atta in council?
Oh, I'm not his spokesperson. I don't know. Whenever he deems fit, or whenever it's proper for him to come, he feels it's proper for him to come, his lawyers will communicate to us, and everyone will know.
I hear
if
you.
the Attorney General has anything to do, if the OSP has anything to do, they should be able to secure conviction. The Ghanaians will be able to say that Ken Ofori Atta is a thief. It's a criminal who has run away from a conviction, or has run away from judgment, justice. And for that reason, you may have a stronger opinion against him.
Okay.
But as we speak here,
nothing of the
it's
sort
mere
has happened.
speculation. It's mere assumption. It's the same speculation that made Atto Forcing and co. filed the censure motion, and we all saw the outcome.
Okay.
So next time when he gets the opportunity, he should be concerned about the market women who said now Tamaklu took their monies away.
Okay.
The market women there.
Our time is done. You take a bye solo. Ken Ofori Atta.
Ken Ofori Atta, as for him, the longer he stays in the US, the longer the MPP stays in opposition. It's as simple as
come
that.
on, please.
Because you see,
Is his stay in the US coterminous with the
yes, he's MPP.
the MPP's
monies are
chances
with
of
him.
getting?
The monies are with him. The PDS, the National Cathedral, the what do you call SMA, and so on. These are allegations that have been placed on him, put on him, that they say he should come and answer.
Right.
Which he's saying he won't come.
He hasn't said. He said he's not well.
The man is so well. When they caught him, he was chilling in an apartment, as we have been told.
You were there?
I picked him from a lavish apartment, formerly occupied by Kamala Harris. Now that was what we were told. Didn't you hear that? We had lawyers in this country who were lying constantly to us, including Frank Davis, telling us.
Oh, take your time.
No, that was the position.
That's what was the last?
No, the man was almost dying. We were that wicked. When he was caught, when he was pricked by ICE, he was in an apartment. I mean, how can we be so? We don't love this country. And you see, my difficulty with Prosper is that we are building a country that when he feels he wants to come, he should come. Hey, we are talking about taxpayers' money. By the way, said Tamaklutu must come.
Yes.
It's very important.
The government
But
has to
she's a
take.
chief.
In fact, the NDC told us
Yes.
when Mr. Ambassador Smith
Yes.
went that they have been able to
They
locate
must not
her
be dilly-dallying with us.
and they should bring her.
But you see, on that score, even why I don't even want to listen to the MPP is that Sedinab Tamaklo was convicted in April of 2024.
Under the MPP.
Under the MPP, what steps did they take to bring her back to this country?
Extradited.
Because they knew they were stealing. So no,
come on.
No,
You cannot. Maybe it was proving difficult to bring them here solo.
No, look, any attempt to try to want to wash it away from our minds or brains that stealing did not take place in the last 8 years would be an injustice to the unborn generation.
Stealing
we
happened.
we were stolen daylight robbery. And that's why we asked a very simple question. Why haven't we gotten the tribunal? Why has the Attorney General stopped doing the press conferences that was just opening our eyes? Why all of a sudden he has
They
stopped?
said he's doing media trials,
Which one
and
is
that's
that?
not correct.
My goodness. They go to court, attach here and co. They go to court and come and run commentary. The first time I've seen lawyers, when they go and meet the judges, they are unable to speak. They come out of the court and they run commentaries just to deceive the minds of the people. Let Ken Ofori Atta continue to be there, and the MPP will be playing relegation matches with the CPP. That is what is going to happen. Because then they cannot go back to the people of this country and tell them that they will come and fight corruption. You understand? How can you fight corruption when the kingpin, the man that held our purse, he was holding our purse?
Right.
Come and just
For
account.
6 years.
He says he won't come. You have a whole political party that say, oh, he shouldn't come. He may look, a common thief, someone goes to see plantain. When he's invited by the police, and he even tells the police, "Oh, just give me a day, I'll come." See what they do to the person.
So for you, Ken Ofori Atta should come ASAP.
If he doesn't want to come,
Who has the duty to bring him? Attorney General
Attorney
or
General and this
OSP?
government, they must be doing. They
Or
must
the
not
OSP?
try to be playing. All of them. They must go after the man. If they don't get him and he says you're going to stay in the US, fine. But if in a case that he dies, nobody must bring the body to this country.
Oh, come on. He's
But
a Ghanaian.
You are a Ghanaian.
He's from a royal
Now
family.
you will be an American. This country.
Americans don't have tribes, do they?
Look, no American will find his body in any of our cemeteries.
Is there an Ebusiapin in America to bury
The
him?
last time there were some family members that faceless family members. They issue statement. When we asked for the Ebusiapin, all of them taken out. We things have happened in this country.
Iman, Iman, you have the final word. We have to go. We are finished. Iman, go ahead. Gentlemen.
fact,
Solo. Prosper, your mic is off. Go ahead, Iman, go ahead.
Look,
Iman, go ahead.
Hey, gentlemen.
Gentlemen,
We're all
allow
listening
him.
to you when
Allow
you're
him.
talking.
Allow him. Allow Iman. Yes.
John, I think this case actually exposes the strength and limit of our accountability architecture.
I see. How does he do?
You see, if Ken Ofori Atta, after 4 years, he went before Parliament and he was vetted and confirmed by Parliament. Is that not the case?
Yes.
That's right.
Do you remember the tiny majority MPP had at the time? What did the NDC do at the time?
In fact, we kept the position for 1 year
Exactly.
while he was away for treatment.
Exactly.
For him. Osechi Mensabus, I remember, read the budget like a prose poem in Parliament.
So,
Johnny, somebody just
So
wrote in
you
the
see,
Bible
Johnny,
quotation.
Yes.
Proverbs 28:1.
because of the political
The wicked
rhetoric,
flee, the wicked flee.
Go ahead.
Johnny,
We are
you
wrapping
see,
up.
because of the political rhetoric
Kafa.
that has contaminated an otherwise a very good case for Ghana to prosecute. Have you asked ourselves why Ken Ofori Atta was removed from the red tape of the Interpol?
That money.
Because of the political rhetoric, and that has given him a shield.
He's running away.
I think the Attorney General, right? We have to look at reforms at our Attorney General.
Okay.
Many of our state attorneys are not fit for purpose. They are low-hanging fruits who barely passed law exams.
Come on. Look, do you know what it takes to go to law school?
Let me tell you
Don't go. Why have you not gone to law school?
Look.
Why have you not gone to the law
I'm
school?
coming, Johnny.
No. You have to withdraw. You have to withdraw that. You have to withdraw and apologize. No. Hold on. No, Ima, you messed up your mic again. No. No.
has nothing to do with the Attorney General.
No.
What are you talking about?
Metal, no, hold on.
No, but I can sit here and say,
Emmanuel,
You failed to listen to what I said.
Emmanuel.
Let me repeat what I said
heard what you
for
said.
clarity.
You said that most of the state attorneys are low-hanging fruits
Yes.
who barely pass law school exams and have been posted there. I want you to withdraw that
I'm
because
coming.
no.
Let me explain why.
You will not use my platform for that. No.
The president made a statement. The president made a statement.
You have to withdraw that.
I'm coming on the president.
If you are not
statement.
withdrawing, we are not moving forward.
Okay, I will withdraw.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, I will withdraw.
You have to withdraw that.
I have withdrawn that.
Okay,
good.
And then apologize for
Wait.
it. Apologize for it, please.
Look, I have withdrawn.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't mean malice.
Okay.
This statement I had conditioned is based on government policy. You know, government has come out with a policy that they want to hire private lawyers to prosecute certain cases at the Attorney General's department because they found out that most of the state attorneys are not able to handle most of
Resource
the cases.
them, get some more people in there, and they will go and fight the cases for you.
So if those state attorneys were doing their work properly, right, or they were fit for those tasks assigned to them, why would it be government policy to come out that they are going to put a mechanism in place to hire private lawyers to handle high-profile cases like what we are talking about? And you know why this came about? I'm coming.
I'm sorry.
So, Johnny,
I'm sorry.
You see that my statement was not misplaced.
Great.
My statement was not misplaced. I was going to draw an inference.
I would have been glad for your
My statement was not misplaced.
producer to fact check the figures I mentioned.
All right.
6,005 million.
Thank you.
Johnny,
Thank you.
I'll send it to him.
Thank you. Mr. Prosper Nate of the NPP, Roger Metal Nunu Jr. of the NDC, Solomon also of the United Party, and Emmanuel Kuting of the Counter-Terrorism Society. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Birthday now.